Okay, as you may know, I've been working on this John Deere lawnmower. It's only been a couple day project so far. It runs really well, and there's only a few actually minor issues. Repair cost is going to be pretty minimal on this. Got to replace the carburetor, and I got to replace a bushing. The rest of it's pretty just cosmetic issues. We had some brake issues that I was able to fix without it buying any parts. The shifter wouldn't go in reverse. I was able to fix that without buying any parts. So it's just cosmetic. So I'm kind of sanding it all down and wire wheeling it. I'm going to repaint it. But today I thought I'd work on the mower deck. We got a big gash here. I think what happened was maybe a blade or something came up and hit that. So I'm going to try to patch that up. So what I'm going to do is I got some metal here I'm going to take off. A little piece of metal here. I'm going to take that off and I'm going to put it up underneath the underside. And then of course I'm going to grind all this down smooth. Put that up under the underside. That way I have a backing here. Now the only problem may be is I want to make sure that I got enough clearance for that. If not, then the project's going to get a little bit more difficult. And then after I have that on the backside, I'm going to just put beads of weld across the gaping hole to fill it in. Up here it doesn't have to be very structurally sound. And I'm going to grind it smooth. That way it's, you know, one flawless finish. It's pretty rough, it's pretty bent up. I had to bend the lip. There's a lip here. I don't know if you can see that dimensionally. I had to bend that lip out so I could get a grinder in here and work it out, and then I'll bend that back up. Same thing over here, there was a lip. So since I wasn't able to bend it very well, I'm actually considering running a bead of weld here and again grinding it smooth so it just kind of fills in the big gaps, the big valleys. Now if that doesn't make sense what I'm going to do, just stick around. It'll make sense after I'm finished. Okay, so you might see there's a little bend in it. My natural instinct is, oh, I need to straighten that out. But that's actually good because there's a bend in the mower deck also. So that'll keep me from having to bend quite as much. I bent it when I was grinding because it got jammed up and it tweaked it a little bit. So I'm going to clean up the underside. And then we'll see if we can get that mower deck cleaned up also with the grinder. Alright, so I try to grind it pretty smooth, and then good thing I'm using a stick welder because it doesn't have to be perfectly clean. You should try to clean it, but it doesn't have to be perfectly clean. And so I got some of that valleys out of there. It's a real huge dip right here, so that's all smoothed out. But that means the wall is thinner now, so I'm going to, like I said, use a welder to kind of fill that up. To see that there's a little indentation there, obviously, because I welded that piece onto the back, but there's still a big hole there that I want to try to even out. So now I'm going to try to fill this up with some weld. I guess I should have reminded everybody that I'm not a welder at all, but I did get it filled up. So I'm going to see how bad the porosity is. I'm going to grind it off, try to get it smooth, see how many holes are in it. I'm sure this is going to be bad. I might have to do this several times. I'm really not the type to give up. And I don't feel like I'm giving up at this point. But I also feel like that this is a futile effort. There is something about welding that I don't know, and I don't want to claim to be an expert. I'm not an expert. I have no idea what I'm doing. And I know that I'm going to get all kinds of comments in the comment section telling me all the things I'm doing wrong. I understand it's a slag issue. I just don't know how to keep the slag out of it. You know, you pound it, and so I'm going to say this is probably good enough for now. And what I'm going to do is get some, I don't know, maybe some filler, Bondo or something, and fill that in the rest of the way, and then paint it. It's accomplished what I needed it to do, which was make sure that there's no hole there. And then I decided I wanted to make it pretty. I don't necessarily have to make it pretty. I just wanted to. So I'm gonna stop here because I'm just wasting welding rods and time in doing it. Once the wheel's on and the new flap is on, you're not going to see this at all. So it was really just to cover the hole, and I got a little OCD about it. So I thought I'd show you around the lawnmower real quick, just to show you all the things that I've gotten accomplished. So you can see I've gotten all this sanded off and ground off. I've decided I'm just going to take it down to metal anywhere there's spottiness. So like over here, I don't think I'm going to take it down to metal. If I can get this to smooth out, well, maybe not. Look at that. You may not be able to see that, but that's lifted paint. So no, I'm going to take all this off. So it just flakes off. So I'm going to, yeah, I'll just take it all off. I didn't see that this morning when I was working on it. And then I'm going to get some primer, and we'll prime the whole thing, 2 or 3 coats, and then paint it. It's going to turn out nice. Somebody said yesterday that you're going to spend $400 in a week's worth of work to get $100 from a blind man. Well, no, I think I'll get quite a bit more than that. And of course, he's probably right about the week's worth of time, but I don't mind doing the work. I don't want to spend the money. But so far, the repairs have been very inexpensive. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video where I was working on this. So if I can inspire you to fail sometimes, so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.